In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm Madison Kasper.
And I'm Daniel Lopez. Welcome back, Sharks. In this episode of Mako TV, you will see the town of Davie's 100-year centennial celebration, the breast cancer awareness breakfast panel, and an exclusive interview with Dr. Chad Perlin, NSU Chief Medical Officer.
The Office of Military Affairs held its annual Veterans Day celebration outside the Horvitz Administration building. Our reporter Isabella Perez has the story.
NSU hosted an event for Veterans Day. NSU students in ROTC, such as Layla Flores, feel connected to events like these.
Well, my father was also in the military, so I do have a personal connection to it. I respect him for all that he's done, and I hope to continue that legacy and make sure that I also give back to the country who has done so much for me and given me the freedom to be whatever I want to be.
In honor of Veterans Day, NSU celebrates veterans and service members with honorable guests.
Each year, as we continue to expand and get more and more involved in our community and the military, we're often finding people that just right place, right time, the perfect background, the messaging, and it draws us to them.
Retired Lieutenant General and 44th U.S. Army Surgeon General Nadja West spoke at the event about her story and the importance of Veterans Day.
So Veterans Day, first, it's really, I really appreciate the fact that our nation honors the sacrifice and the service of so many who decided to serve to support their nation. So Veterans Day to me means a great thank you to all of those who served.
NSU President Harry K. Moon notes that both veterans and NSU benefit from each other. Veterans Day allows for recognition of both.
Well, I think that the tools we can give them, as you heard from some of the recipients that have come out of the military and gone on with their educational degrees. So that fulfills even a larger purpose in what we do in the community and society, and it's our purpose as well.
NSU students in ROTC memorialize the day by looking up to those who have served. Some students have family members who served, while some hope to begin that legacy.
The amount of joy and the amount of bringing everybody together, families who have served in so many ways, it's so beautiful to me. So it brings a deep passion part in my heart how impactful Veterans Day is to me, because hopefully later down the line I have kids that join, and then my kids' that join, and then we can look back at Veterans Day and be like, look how much this family tree has blossomed off of this armed services. So it's just, I love them. I love Veterans Day.
This event was held at the Horvitz Administration Building. I am Isabella Perez with Mako TV.
The town of Davie hosted its 100-year celebration at the Bergeron Rodeo Grounds. My co-anchor Madison was on the scene.
Live music, performances, games, special messages, and recognition for honored residents all took place at the Bergeron Rodeo Grounds for the town of Davie's 100-year celebration that brought the community together.
The town signifies togetherness, friendliness, neighborliness, and that's what we're trying to do here in Davie. We have our open rural lifestyle where we don't put up fences. We try to keep everything open. And having the community come together is the most important thing for us.
An ongoing tradition in Davie for the past 84 years is the Orange Blossom Festival. This year's Miss Teen and Miss Junior Teen Orange Blossom are honored to get to represent this town.
Well, to the town of Davie, it represents home because I feel like Davie is such a vibrant community and it's full of so much people with love. It's home, it's authentic in just how it is. And the 100-year celebration is something very meaningful to us.
I'm truly proud and honored to represent my community, especially as the centennial queen.
The residents of Davie have been honoring its traditions for the past 100 years, and now Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz has recognized the 100-year celebration to Congress.
I entered a statement in the congressional record in commemoration of the town of Davie's centennial celebration.
Wasserman Schultz and her husband bought their first home and spent the first 7 years of their marriage in Davie. She said that the town brings a special feeling.
When I tell my colleagues across the country that in a suburban district I represent the town with a rodeo, they are very impressed.
In 1925, Davie had just over 500 residents, and now 100 years later, it has 107,000. Resident Felix Gomez first moved from Venezuela to Davie 10 years ago with his wife.
It's very quiet. Nice people. It's not so crowded. It's a lot of things to do. It's a nice place to live.
I love Davie with all my heart, and am passionate about our town, past, present, and future. May we be blessed with another 100 years. Happy birthday, Davie.
In the words of Mayor Judy Paul, we are proof that Cowboy Town and College Town can coexist for the benefit of all. I'm Madison Kasper with Mako TV.
Joining me to talk about updates with Mako Radio is station manager Jonesia Martimbor, also known as DJ Sunshine. Welcome, DJ Sunshine.
Thank you, Danny, for having me on. It's my first time. I'm so excited.
That's exciting. What's going on with Mako Radio?
So first of all, I hope everyone had an amazing homecoming week. I know I did. But as for Mako Radio, this will be our last week on air. So we'll be having our live streams from 6 to 9 p.m. on WKPX 88.5 FM Sunrise, as well as our live stream. And it's also coupled with our daytime shows from 12 to 1 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and 12:30 to 1:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays. And for those craving more tunes or more interview content, we are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can also follow us on Instagram at NSU_Mako Radio.
Thank you, DJ Sunshine.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me on.
Leo Goodwin Foundation sponsored a breast cancer awareness breakfast panel with guest speakers for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. At the end of the story, you can check the complete and exclusive interview with Congresswoman Davie Wasserman Schultz, who sat down with Mako TV to discuss her journey as breast cancer survivor.
Over 300,000 women receive a breast cancer diagnosis every year in the United States. Dr. Savannah Moon shared her presentation at the Breast Cancer Awareness Breakfast Panel. The event was hosted during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, sponsored by Leo Goodwin Foundation. As a plastic surgeon, she believes reconstructive surgery can help patients in their journey.
Cancer is daunting and it's scary, at least being the plastic surgeon and being able to add the reconstructive aspect, being able to feel whole again and like yourself, and I like to be a happy doctor to go see and something positive out of the experience. So that is really important to me, and understanding all the options. There's so many options for breast reconstruction, and it's changed, especially the last 50 years and even just the last 15 years.
In an exclusive interview with Mako TV, Congresswoman Davie Wasserman Schultz highlights the importance of detecting breast cancer early.
Early detection is the key to survival. 99% of breast cancers that are localized, that don't spread to other parts of the body or the lymph nodes, are curable. Like we now have nearly 100% of women who find their tumor at smaller than a centimeter, and they survive. So don't wait.
Incidences of breast cancer in men and women is increasing every year, according to the American Cancer Society. Being aware of the risks can lessen the chance of future diagnosis.
Limit your exposure to microplastics, which are everywhere, and now we're finding them in the colon, where younger people are getting colon cancer. So we don't know if they cause them or they're just creating inflammation, but they're also hormonally active, so they're associated with breast cancer as well.
Attendees of the Breast Cancer Awareness Breakfast Panel were given information and statistics about survivorship.
We really want to save lives. We want to teach. I have 2 daughters. I want them to learn. I want them to share the information with other women as well. So that's really important, is saving women and all people's lives that suffer from this disease.
Congresswoman Davie Wasserman Schultz has been able to help women catch breast cancer early through her advocacy.
It just fills my heart when someone says, I got a mammogram that I had been putting off. And even though it's sad, because sometimes they'll tell me they found breast cancer, they know that it would have been a lot later had I not, been able to sort of wake them up and bring it to their attention. So any difference I can make like that, it's all worth it.
For the full interview with Congresswoman Davie Wasserman Schultz, you could scan the QR code on the screen or visit youtube.com/Mako Television. I'm Madison Kasper with Mako TV. For our Donor Connect segment, our host, Sarah Juman, Donors Relations Coordinator for University Advancement, sat down with Chuck and Kitty Tattlebaum to discuss their contributions to NSU.
Welcome to Donor Connect. I'm Sarah Juman, and today I'm joined by Chuck and Kitty Tattlebaum, longtime supporters of NSU, passionate advocates for legal education, and generous champions of student success at the Shepherd Broad College of Law. Welcome, Chuck and Kitty.
Thank
you.
Chuck and Kitty's commitment to giving, especially the Dean's Excellence Program Scholarship, reflects their deep belief in education and opportunity. Their support is shaping the future of NSU law students, and we're proud to share their story behind the lasting impact. Chuck and Kitty, thank you so much for being here.
Excited to be here.
So let's start with your connection to NSU. What first drew you in and made you want to get involved?
An attorney named Gordon James was very active with the NSU Ambassadors Board. So he got me involved and I joined the Ambassadors Board. And at the Ambassadors Board, every month we have stories from faculty and students about what's happening at NSU. And I'd come home from every one of these breakfasts and say to Kitty, you can't believe, I heard this. This is what they're doing. They're doing this. This is what the students are doing. And we both just sort of said, this is the best kept secret around. And we have the time and luckily some resources. So let's get involved and see what we can do to help, because Kitty is a former educator.
And you guys have done something really incredible by establishing the Dean's Excellence Program Scholarship. What inspired you to create that?
The best predictor of passing the bar is not LSAT and it's not GPAs at undergraduate. It's how you do in the first semester of law school. And they found that if you had a 3.5 or better, you had a 98% chance of passing the bar. So what was decided is that for this past spring, every student, there were 39 of them that had a 3.5 or better GPA, would then have their tuition reduced and capped for the rest of their time at the law school. Now the university is supporting that in the first couple of years because we can't get enough funding right away. So what our scholarship initial does, and others that have graciously followed, is to create the foundation so that we can keep this going perpetually, because the university has a limited amount of support it can do in order to do it. So that's what the fund does, and I'm really pleased because 38 of the 39 stayed at NSU.
And so when you think of the students who will be impacted by this, who are already impacted by this great scholarship, what do you hope that they take on their journey with them into law school?
For me, I came from having to work 3 years before I started college to have the money to go. So I have some feeling about what it's like to have to constantly work and be a student as well. And in this day and age, it's even more complicated and more expensive. So I think I have some feeling for that.
And if I could add, I mean, my tuition level for a state law school was a lot less, a lot less. But I knew what it was, pressure just to work at a job, so I had food and lodging and everything. And when you have money issues, you can't focus on the studying. It's not in your conscience, but it's always there. So it's very important that we provide an atmosphere where the students are not worried about their current debt, and we don't want them worried that when they get out of law school, they're going to have inordinate debt that they're going to have to pay back. So this subjectively helps them do better in law school and have a better prognosis for the future, not just with their GPA and the bar, but in general.
Is there, I think students love to hear the struggle because they know that they can overcome anything, and coming from you both, is there a big struggle that you guys had to overcome to be where you are today?
Talk about your 3 masters and 20 jobs.
When I went to college, I worked 30 hours a week in addition to going full-time. All my weekends were taken up. And that's not a person saying, poor me. That was the reality. And I didn't really mind. I was in a school where no one was wealthy. So I had found my place and I was able to go forward.
It has been so great getting to know you guys and learn more about your story. You both are just so integral and so important part of the NSU community. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Vinsab.
This has been Mako Media Donor Connect. I'm Sarah Juman. See you next time.
Next, for our sports segment, we have our sports reporter, Liv Zolk, for updates on NSU sports. Welcome, Liv.
Thank you, Madison. Joining me is Maya Esparza from Athletic Communications and the NSU Women's Swim Team. Welcome, Maya.
Thanks for having me.
As basketball season starts tonight, what are the expectations for the women's team as they have a brand new team this season?
Well, they did make a Sweet 16 appearance last year, so we're hoping to keep that energy up, and they're under the lead of Heather Macy right now, so we're hoping she brings that winning mentality over to Nova.
So what are the expectations for the men's team after their 2 national championships in the last 3 seasons?
Obviously, we're looking to gain another title, but I would say a really important part is trying to keep up that 84 home win streak we have going on right now.
How are you and the swim team doing this season?
We're doing really good. We had a lot of new talent come in, which is super exciting, and we're heading into our mid-season meet this weekend, and I'm so excited to see how everything comes together.
Thank you for being here, Maya.
Thanks for having me.
With the swim team starting off its season, our reporter Isabella Fernandez de Cueto got the chance to talk to some of our swimmers.
NSU men's and women's swimming is underway, with the women's team starting off the season with an 8-2 record and the men's team with a 5-4 record. The women's team won its 3rd consecutive national championship last season. Sophomore Christina Orban, who was Sunshine State Conference All-American last season, explains why team goals are important in and out of the pool.
We have a lot of team goals, but like both small and bigger. The bigger team goals would be winning conference, winning nationals again, but also like important smaller goals, like to, if you're not swimming, like be on deck and cheer for each other and always like keep the positivity up and like no negativity in the locker room and stuff like that. So just like to make it easier to do like the harder stuff.
The swim season starts in August and lasts until March. For senior Gavin Lindley, who is also a Sunshine State Conference All-American last season, the 7 months of training is all worth it in the end when championship season comes around.
It's hard. Recovery is a big part of it. Recovery days, eating enough, sleeping enough. It is a long season, and it's hard, but it's all worth it in the end when championship season comes around.
For men's and women's swim head coach Ben Hewitt, winning a national championship in different ways is how the team stay present.
Well, each season's got to be different, right? I don't think, and I hit on this already, you don't want to pursue a championship to be done the exact same way because you'll have a new team every year, new challenges come up, you know, whether it's something you expect and anticipate or something that you don't. And I always encourage them also to try to win it in a different way. That's a really important thing because it keeps them present. We also need to just focus really on the present. You know, we're not aiming to necessarily win a championship. What we want to do is, you know, in the moment, we want to be the most exciting team. We want to be a team that's at their best against the best in the best of all situations. And we need to work towards that.
Men's and women's swim will compete at the Fall Frenzy in Charlotte, North Carolina from Thursday, November 20th to Sunday, November 23rd. I'm Isabella Fernandez de Cueto with Mako TV.
Next for our health update, my co-anchor Madison sat down with Dr. Aubrey Raja to discuss antibiotic resistance.
Welcome to the health update. I'm Madison Kasper. With me is Dr. Aubrey Raja, Mako Media Science and Health Advisor. Welcome, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison.
Our topic today is antibiotic resistance. Dr. Raja, what is antibiotic resistance?
Antibiotic resistance refers to microorganisms and very specifically bacteria that are resistant to the drugs or the antibiotics that are often used to combat the microorganisms. And when we refer to antibiotic resistance, so we're talking about the bacteria that have become resistant to the antibiotics. And sometimes it's also referred to in terms of the diseases that these bacteria cause. They're drug resistant and they end up causing certain diseases. So the word antibiotic resistance kind of encompasses both these things.
What is the biggest mistake people make when using antibiotics?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest mistakes is people take antibiotics for a few days and then they start to feel a little better. And so they think, oh, I'm feeling better, I'm going to stop taking my antibiotics. And that's one of the biggest mistakes, is that because when a physician prescribes antibiotics to you, if they tell you that you must take this for 5 days or 7 days or 10 days, you should take it for those 5 days, 7 days, or 10 days, whatever they're prescribing, regardless of how you feel on day 3 or day 4. You have to finish the whole course of the prescription. That's one. And the second big problem with using antibiotics is people sometimes use it for the wrong reason. For example, you should only use antibiotics for an infection that is caused by a bacterium or bacteria. There's no point in taking antibiotics if you have a viral infection. But oftentimes people don't know the difference, or they're unsure, or a physician may not check, is it bacteria, is it virus, and the patient's really feeling very sick, they just want to get some medication and they end up taking an antibiotic. And that's usually not correct, because if you're taking antibiotics and you have a viral infection, it's really not going to do any good for you. However, you may end up causing drug-resistant bacteria to kind of show up.
So looking ahead, what steps need to be taken to either slow down or reverse antibiotic resistance?
Yes, absolutely. So steps have to be taken, and again, multi-pronged approach has to be used. So we have to change how we practice medicine to some degree. So physicians will become more careful about prescribing antibiotics. As consumers, as patients, we have to change how we do things. We shouldn't be asking for antibiotics up front. We should become more educated about it. If we are getting antibiotics, we should take the entire prescription, not just stop halfway, not share antibiotics with like our family and friends. So we as consumers have to make a change. There's a lot of change coming in the agricultural industry as well, where they're beginning to change how they give antibiotics. Do they not give antibiotics to the livestock? How do they better take care of their livestock? And also environmental changes are happening. Regulations, laws are changing, so that we all together change the practice of using these antibiotics that are currently available.
How is this directly affecting college students?
Oh, absolutely. It affects college students just simply because we're part of the population, and we're probably getting sick while we're in college or around other sick people, and we end up taking antibiotics or misusing antibiotics because perhaps we're unaware about it. And that just kind of perpetuates the problem. Maybe we are seeing antibiotic drug-resistant bacteria in these populations, and we're in a place where we can easily move these bacteria around, because if a college student gets sick, you're around a lot of other students as well, and suddenly now many more people can get sick. So the problem can spread very easily. So it becomes important for college students to also be aware that this problem exists, and it's not just a problem in this country, it's actually a global problem. So it is something that everyone should be thinking about.
Thank you, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison.
This has been the Mako Media Health Update. I'm Madison Kasper. See you next time. Joining me for our arts segment is our executive producer and arts reporter, Jocelyn Saccucci. Welcome, Jocelyn.
Hi, Madison. Thank you for having me.
What's going on with arts here at NSU?
On November 20th, NSU's commercial music program is celebrating the holidays with its Music for the Season performance, which will take place in the Cotilla Gallery at 12 p.m. Tonight, NSU's Mako Band, Bossa Nova Chorale, and Shark Gold Vocal Ensemble are collaborating for the Peace Concert. For our Sharks in the Arts segment, our reporter Carrie Corson sat down with senior Kiana Romero to learn more about the event.
Welcome to Sharks in the Arts. I'm Carrie Corson. Our guest is Kiana Romero, a senior in the Bachelor of Arts music program. Hi, Kiana. We appreciate you being with us today.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure. What is the theme for this year's Peace Concert?
So I would say it's there in the name, Peace Concert. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now where we need to reiterate the word peace and send that message to the listeners. And with the music that we're going to be singing and playing with Mako Band and with the Bossa Nova Chorale, basically songs related to peace and trying to speak on that, you know. And also with the band, they're playing some funky songs, some holiday music. So who doesn't get joy and happy with that kind of music, right? You want to dance and just play around with it.
Oh, sounds like fun. What is your role specifically in the peace concert?
So I'm a singer. I am an alto singer. So I do sort of like I call it the chill melodies in the background. But I give credit to the altos because we give that beautiful kind of background to the rest of like the soprano singers and the tenors and the bass. So as a singer, it takes a lot of preparation. You know, one would think, oh, you just get up on stage and you just do whatever you do, but there's a lot of preparation behind it all and making sure that you memorize the lyrics. Also knowing the notes, of course, that's very important. Nobody wants to be off key, right?
Let's hope not. The Miniachi Theater is a 500-seat auditorium and is an affiliated venue of the Broward Center of the Performing Arts. How does performing on the same stage as industry professionals prepare you for your career?
Well, I mean, with NSU, it's something that being a shark, they always speak on that. You know, we're industry professionals. So being in a location where so many well-known artists have performed, it gives you that standard. And when you get up on that stage, even during the rehearsals, you feel like, okay, I'm about to make this happen, and I'm gonna perform to that standard. So then when I graduate one day, or when the other students graduate, they know that they have that background and they feel confident with the skill sets that they have to bring to the table.
Sounds wonderful. Do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
Definitely tell your friends and family to come to the show. It is this Friday, November 14th at 7:30 in the Miniachi Theater. Just make sure to get comfy, get ready to dance, and have lots and lots of fun.
There's also another event coming up in the Cotia Gallery. What is that event about?
Yeah, so this again plays with like the holidays. We're right around the corner to like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. So I would say a lot of those songs are going to be related with the holidays. I myself, I'm going to be participating in that. A lot of students that are here in theater and in the music program, they're also going to be singing. So very simple, just playing with the piano and singing along.
Well, thanks so much for speaking with us today on Mako TV. The Peace Concert is an annual event presented by NSU's Mako Band, the Bossa Nova Chorale, and the Shark Gold Vocal Ensemble. The performance will be Friday, November 14th at 7:30 p.m. in the Miniachi Performing Arts Center. Then on Thursday, November 20th at noon, performers from NSU's commercial music program will present music for the season in the Cotia Gallery, located on the second floor of the Alvin Sherman Library. Information about these and other events can be found online at nova.edu/arts. This has been Sharks in the Arts. I'm Carrie Corson. Until next time, carry on.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you for all your updates, Jocelyn.
Thank you, Madison.
Thanksgiving is coming up on November 27th. For our Sharks on the Street segment, our reporter Olivia Nur asked Sharks what they're thankful for this year.
Thanksgiving is on Thursday, November 27th. Today, I am asking Sharks what they are most thankful for this year. Since Thanksgiving is right around the corner, what are some things that you are thankful for?
I am very thankful for my family and friends and all the connections I have made along the way to be where I am now.
I love that you asked that question. For me, it's really just everything that God has done in my life. Recently, I felt like there has been this spark that's been ignited, and I'm just so thankful for what he's done already in my life and what he's about to do. Yeah, so thank you.
So, of course, every day I'm thankful. You know, gotta thank God because I have a nice family, food every day, and I'm definitely 100% thankful for all my brothers of Phi Delta Theta. I ride or die by those guys, so it's great to always have them on my back.
Since Thanksgiving is right around the corner, what are some things that you are thankful for?
I'm thankful for my friends, my family, money. We love that. I'm thankful for Nova for all the opportunities afforded me. I'm thankful for God, everything.
I'm thankful for my family, thankful for my mom, my dad, my brother, food, rice and chicken, everybody in general. That's it.
I'm thankful for my family, my boyfriend, to have a job and provide for myself at college, and to be at Southeastern University.
Definitely thankful for Stranger Things coming out on November 26th. I'm so excited. I love Stranger Things. I'm excited to see my family and friends. There's a lot of movies coming out during Thanksgiving, and it's a good opportunity for my friends and family, all of us to have an excuse to go out together and spend time together. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Since Thanksgiving is right around the corner, what are some things that you are thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family, my friends. I would say food. I love food. And also like a roof over my head and going to this school.
Now we have heard from NSU students about what they are most thankful for this year. Have a great holiday break, Sharks. I'm Olivia Nur with Mako TV.
The suicide hotline number is going to be on the back of newly printed Shark cards in an effort to further support NSU Sharks. Our reporter, Jonathan Paul, has the story.
Nova Southeastern's Undergraduate Student Government Association passed a Shark card legislation to have the suicide hotline printed on the back of all Shark cards. USGA's Executive Vice President Harris Siddiqui proposed this legislation his freshman year, which is passed now. He explains the impact this new addition to the Shark cards has on the student body.
I think it's pretty impactful. I think that obviously, not everyone's going to think that if you need the suicide prevention hotline, you're going to look at the back of your Shark card immediately, right? But just because that resource is there, I feel like it's more likely to be utilized. So, I think it's definitely impactful. I think if we save one life, then it would be better than missing out on the opportunity to do so. So, yeah.
Director of the Center for Student Counseling and Wellbeing for Henderson Behavioral Health, Veronica Ruiz Ashwall, gives an overview of the resources NSU has to offer.
Well, we have the Student Counseling Center for the students. We have hotlines. We have crisis interventions. We have on-call services available to them and, other resources in the community.
Sophomore Chiamaka Nancy lost one of her close friends at a young age. Celebrating her life has helped ease with the pain of losing her.
I pray a lot, and that's mainly because of my parents. I feel like the only recompense I can get from her loss is knowing that I've prayed enough for her soul to at least, receive forgiveness. Because to be fair, to her, she was struggling. She was a young kid. She's not somebody you would have expected to know the ins and outs. She asked for help, nobody heard. And I personally just like to see it as she's at least free now. Obviously, there's other ways you could go about it. There's other things you could have done. But I like to see it as she's free and finally she can rest. I personally believe her soul is at rest because even when we had her memorial and everything, when we released balloons, it felt like we were finally letting go of the fact that she was never coming back type of thing. So.
Senior editor and executive producer of Mako TV, Jocelyn Saccucci, lost her stepmom 3 years ago. Since then, her advice to people struggling is to just find the one thing that makes you happy and don't lose hope.
Some people say that suicide is selfish. I don't want to say that. I don't think that suicide is selfish. I think that somebody commits suicide when they feel like they have nowhere else to go. And it's just hard because when you feel that way, you kind of just want to give up. And so what I would say to someone who is struggling with suicidal thoughts is just to not give up. Just to find the things that make you happy, start small. Even if most things make you miserable, if going out before work every day and getting a cup of coffee makes you even a slightly iota less miserable, then go and get that cup of coffee. Do something small every day that makes you happy, and I truly believe that one day you can wake up and realize, I haven't been miserable for a really long time. So just have faith and remember that things do get better.
NSU has a 24/7 hotline for students in need. You can call or text HOME to 741-741. I'm Jonathan Paul with Mako TV.
To end off our show, I got the chance to sit down with Dr. Chad Perlin, Executive Vice President and Chief Medical Officer, Dean for the College of Allopathic Medicine, and Executive Medical Director for NSU Health, to talk about his work and his contributions to NSU. Welcome to our special segment. I'm Madison Kasper. Here with me is Dr. Chad Perlin, Executive Vice President and Chief Medical Officer at Nova Southeastern University, and Executive Medical Director for NSU Health. Welcome, Dr. Perlin. We're honored to have you.
It is great to be here this morning. Thank you.
So with all of your background, you could have went anywhere. Why choose to come to NSU?
When I think about my career, As you know, I'm a pediatric plastic surgeon. I've operated on nearly 10,000 children at this point in my career. At some point along the way, I became a healthcare leader, and I realized I've done so much healthcare with my own two hands that as a healthcare leader, I could suddenly do healthcare through 350 sets of hands of the doctors who I helped oversee and lead when I was at Nicholas Children's as an administrator there. And over time, as I thought about my career and my direction, I realized ultimately the most impactful way that I could help change our community, help change healthcare, having practiced with my own hands, having helped other physicians practice with their hands, was to make sure we have amazing healthcare professionals for the future. And that ultimately is what brought me back to the university, knowing that at this point in my career, I can be helping other young people start their careers and enter a profession that I've absolutely loved being a part of, healthcare. Nothing could be more meaningful to me now.
You talked about growing and expanding. What is your vision for NSU Health?
Right now, when you look at NSU, our educational footprint is tremendous. It's powerful, it's impactful, and we are the best at education. Where we have opportunity to grow is in the clinical care, in the delivery of care to patients. And Dr. Moon loves to say, and I agree completely, the best medicine is in a place where you treat, where you teach, and where you research. And that is what we are looking to create for NSU Health. And we will do it. We will build the academic medical center. We will build the environment which will change the landscape of South Florida by allowing more access for our students to be in world-class places, more access for patients to receive that care, and more access ultimately for our community to flourish economically as a result of improved healthcare.
So you just spoke about teaching, and back in 2010, you had helped in the Haitian relief effort. So what would you say is your medical value that you really want to pass down to students?
I never thought that I would be a leader. I grew up wanting to be a physician, wanting to be a surgeon, became one, and in 2010, January of 2010, the earthquake in Haiti happened, and it's now remarkably 15 years ago, so many people have forgotten or were young, but this was a catastrophic event, and there were hundreds of thousands of people who were injured or killed. I was brand new. I was as green as the green screen behind us. I knew nothing about leadership. I'd been trained as a surgeon, but I was maybe 6 months out into practice, and I saw on the television the suffering of other people, and I saw the injuries. And in this moment between my wife and I, which we talk about often, I still don't know if it was a question or a statement. She said, "You're going, aren't you?" And I did. And I volunteered to lead one of the very first teams of pediatric surgeons to Haiti immediately after the earthquake. That experience fundamentally changed my life. As I said before, I didn't know what leadership was, but I knew what service was. And I knew when you have a skill in this world and there are others who need it, I understood the obligation to share that skill and deliver that service. That put me on a very different track. I'd always imagined I'd be a surgeon scientist and have a career operating in the operating room and researching in the lab, but that experience and the time thereafter really took me on this hard right turn into healthcare leadership. And I looked back, and 15 years later, I had become the president of the physician organization at Nicholas and the senior vice president of the Nicholas Children's Health System, and really found myself in this leadership role. From there, now to bring it back to your question, from the Haiti earthquake to teaching, through that experience, I just understood again this responsibility. And just like I knew I had a responsibility to treat those patients, I really believe in the responsibility that we have, particularly in medicine, to pass on this body of knowledge.
So NSU also has very strong arts and humanities programs. So how do you see their involvement in patient care?
Well, I think that this is one of the most wonderful things about the opportunity we have as a university-based healthcare system. There are many fantastic hospitals and clinics and healthcare systems. But when you think about what we have to offer patients, what we have to offer the community, by putting together things like the arts program, things like the humanities program, arts in medicine, for example, the NSU Art Museum, opportunities to do mental health. We did a great program recently with patients, faculty, staff around painting. So there are just so many neat ways to incorporate the resources of the university and to integrate them as we think about healthcare, that it's fun to see what we'll continue to do.
Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. This was fantastic, and thanks for having me on Mako TV.
This has been our special segment. I'm Madison Kasper. See you next time. That is all for this episode of Mako TV. You can catch our solo release videos on our YouTube channel at Mako Television.
You can also follow us on Instagram at NSU_Mako TV. Thank you for watching.
See you next year.
Happy holidays.
Go Sharks!